Good morning, welcome back to the channel. That is another 5 a.m. session boxed off. It's Monday morning, it is 2 minutes past 6, so we're on our way home, and today I am going to try to gain 1 kilo of body fat just for you, to try and prove a point. I'm going to be eating 10,700 calories today. It isn't just an excuse for me to pig out and eat like crap all day, because I'm not going to lie, the way I'm going to get these 10,000 calories in isn't going to be from chicken and rice. It's to prove a point, because the amount of times I speak to either people coming into coaching or even existing clients who are so fearful of having an off-plan meal or a meal out or anything like that, whether it's whilst they're dieting or even after the diet's done and we're in a gaining phase, and even though logically they know that one off-plan meal a week, isn't going to make any difference, there's still that irrational worry and fear that you view those foods and you see those foods as like instantly fattening. It can cause a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, having that one off-plan meal and then waking up the next day feeling like they can see a visible change, like they feel a bit fatter, they feel a bit smoother, they view that meal as every calorie consumed from it is instantly fattening and going to be stored as fat. And I'm going to disprove that, because although I am not a big proponent of you should be able to eat out every week and get in shape, because I do think if you're wanting to get in shape, be willing to put those things aside, I also don't want people to have a bad relationship with those foods when it comes to actually doing it. And I also want them to be able to view those foods logically, look at the numbers, and be able to enjoy them without the worry, the guilt, the shame, or the fear that they're going to get instantly fat. So why 10,700 calories? Because in 1 gram of body fat, there's roughly 7,700 calories. So I am going to eat 7,700 calories today above my estimated maintenance, which, having done multiple diets, gaining phases, maintenance phases, is about 3,000 calories for me. I can eat 3,000 calories a day on relatively little exercise and maintain my body weight quite comfortably. So I'm going to eat 10,700 calories. So I can eat that extra kilo of body fat on top of what I would normally eat for maintenance. And we're going to track the difference. Every morning for the next few days, we're going to look at my scale weight, we're going to look at my physique photos, and we're going to see if we can notice a difference. And we're going to see how long it takes to get my scale weight back down to normal, which as of this morning was 68.4 kilos. I know, a strong wind could blow me over. So that's going to be the plan. That's what we're going to do. So I need to get back home. I'm going to have some post-workout oats, and then the real fun's going to begin. Let's see if I can stomach 10,700 calories. I fancy my odds, to be fair. And I've just done that reverse parking. Not too shabby. Ooh. Right then. Ooh. It is 9:15. So far this morning, I've had 2 slices of toast with 30 grams of jam on each, and then I've had my post-workout bowl of oats, which you'll see here, and altogether so far I've had pretty much 1,000 calories, so just 9,700 to go. So the next up, it is 9:15 right now, so I'm going to have this, and then I've got a load of check-ins to do for Blitz, which ironically, probably tell them not to watch this because they're 6 weeks into 12 weeks of aggressive fat loss, and I'm telling them not to eat exactly this stuff. So let's have a quick look here. We've got the full 500 gram box of, quite frankly, the best cereal in the world, and I will fight anybody that says different. My fitness pal's logged me out, that's helpful, isn't it? Plus there's about 30 grams of protein powder in there, so we've got basically 2,000 calories. By the time I've had this full box, I'm on 3,000 calories for the day, which is basically my normal daily food anyway, by what will probably be about 9:30, quarter to 10, which is fun. So I'm going to see if I can fit the whole thing in here. You can see that, empty. Now, I'm not going to have you sat here watching the entire thing with sound on, because, let's be honest, that's going to be incredibly boring. I'm going to need more liquid, because these motherfuckers are going to absolutely absorb that. Right, so, protein powder, and it is with water, it's not with milk. 500 grams of Weetabix Mini with basically fuck all liquid. It's already been drunk. So where's all my drink gone? I'm going to watch something whilst I'm doing it, so I'll fast forward this whilst I get through it, and we'll see you when it's done. I've literally had about 10 mouthfuls and I've lost all the water and protein shake already. Also, feels weird eating with a normal spoon. I've got so used to it with a teaspoon with dieting and everything like that to slow me down and help me feel fuller. Feels really odd. Don't really love almond milk, I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like full fat milk. I don't really want to track from liquids. And it's just a bit thicker, isn't it? This shouldn't be. It's become that, like, there we go. That like Weetabix mush at the bottom of the bowl now. It's 2,000 calories done, 500 grams of chocolate Weetabix mini done. It is now 35 past 9, so that's taken me about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So I need to clear this up, get my monitor background and actually start doing some check-ins. Oh, excuse me. Right. I'll see you for the next meal. (3 p.m) we have got 3,671 calories here. We've got 2 cheeseburgers from Five Guys and a regular portion of Cajun fries and a banana milkshake as well. I'm gonna get all this in now, and then that will put us up to around 6,500 calories for the day so far. So then we're still only 4,000 calories away from where we need to be, which is going to get done at the end of the day. And it's going to be interesting to see after all this and what's left to come with the 4,000 calories, just how we are looking in the morning, what the scale's saying. Again, remember I was 68.4 this morning. So with all the carbohydrates from this, the salt, the water, remembering that for every gram of glycogen that you store, you can store up to an extra 4 grams of water. So essentially, if I'm having 200 grams of carbs extra, which I'm having a hell of a lot more today, there's about 1,200 grams of carbs, I'm going to be able to store up to 5 times that of water, providing I get the right amount of water. And so it starts to paint that picture of why the scale can fluctuate so much after just one meal, right? If you have one meal with 100 grams of carbs, and you also then have 4 grams of water per gram of carbs on storage, that's a half a kilo of body weight just added to the scale the next morning, mainly from water. Just starts to paint that picture as to why the scale can fluctuate so much and why it's not actually going to be necessarily body fat. But less chat, more talk, because this is probably going to go cold. Get this down me, and then we'll crack on from there. Honestly, I feel like I'm having a heart attack just looking at it. Let's do it. I think I'm going to start with a burger. I'm literally watching Beard Meat's food whilst eating this. Motivation, innit? Burger done. Just gotta tackle these chips now. Or fries, I guess. Honestly, I swear, with Deliveroo, right, unless you pay for priority service or priority delivery, whatever it's called nowadays, I swear they just put your order in a fucking fridge whilst they drive it to you. I must have been driven around half of fucking West Yorkshire. That's depressing. So, burger done. Christ almighty. Burger done. Fries done. Banana milkshake. Ooh, brain freeze kicking in. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right. So that is 25 past 3. So that took me about 15, 20 minutes to eat. And we are now 6,700 calories so far by 3:30. So I've got 4,024 left to be precise, which I'm going to have a little bit later on. I don't know what time yet, but it'll be later on this evening. So between now and then, I've got a bit of editing to do, a bit more work to do, and got to go to the vets. And that's about it. So, yeah, we'll see you at the next meal. Right then, tea time. So this is the final 4,000 calories of the day. We have got a large Meteor pizza from Domino's. Not gonna lie, not a big fan of this pizza or of Domino's in general, but it's calorific and needs must. And we've got a tub of Ben & Jerry's finest fish food, which is the absolute top tier elite flavour. I don't care what anyone says. You can't beat it. But I'm not going to eat that in here. I'm going to eat that in the other room, in the front room with Soph, because we have just started rewatching Stranger Things. I will still film eating the ice cream in the room, don't worry. I will prove that I've eaten it. I'm not trying to do you out of 1,200 calories or something. And then that is the 10k calories for today. And then all that's left to do is go to bed, get a bit of sleep, wake up in the morning, see where we're at, and go from there. I guess, without further ado, let's dig in. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's the barbecue sauce on this pizza that I don't like. I'm not a fan of barbecue sauce in general. This is not going down well at all. I could have sworn this was a one me and Jake have done in challenges before. It wasn't this bad. Oh, I feel so sickly. How long have we been going? 15 minutes. And I've eaten about half, if that, of the small slices as well. I think I'm going to have to take the L on the pizza, you know. But then again, the point of this video isn't to eat 10,000 calories. It was to show if you go way over on your calories, it's not the end of the world. And that's what we'll see tomorrow. But I feel like if I eat the rest of this, I am probably going to be on the toilet all night, coming out of both ends. And then I'm not even going to get to the gym. Ugh. Excuse me. Excuse me again. I'm going to take the L on the pizza. Maybe if it was a nicer pizza, it could have gone better. And I'm going to go in the room. I'll have the Ben & Jerry's. So 9,000 still. A solid amount above my maintenance. Well, I feel like I've let you down. I feel like I've let myself down. And I feel like Domino's have let me down, I'm not going to lie. Alright, let's go through to the room.
From my feet, please.
So, it is day two, the morning after, of the failure that was yesterday. 9,250 calories in total. So a little bit under what the target was, but still more than enough to make the point. And I think actually, if anything, it actually, unintentionally, actually kind of helps make my point that you've just seen what it would take to actively try and eat enough food in one day to put on 1 kilo, theoretically, of body weight overnight. And I couldn't even manage it. Now, there's plenty of people that could, but I definitely fucked up by leaving too much of the food towards the back end of the day. Should have spread it out a bit more. But even when I actively tried to eat so much food that I would have gained a kilo overnight on the scales from body fat, hypothetically, I couldn't do it, right? So my totals yesterday were 310 grams of protein, 1,115 grams of carbs, and about 338 grams of fats. And the scale change this morning, as you will have seen, is I am up by 0.7 of a kilo. That's it, 0.7, not much at all. Less than I was expecting, because I would have expected actually a bit more of a fluctuation when you take into account water retention from glycogen, like we spoke about, with it being 4 grams of water per gram of glycogen, or up to that amount. You can see a hell of a lot more go on with the amount of carbs I had yesterday, 1,115, and then you save for that, you know, you don't know how much of that is going to be in a surplus with current glycogen storage and all that kind of stuff, but there could have been a huge fluctuation, and there wasn't, right? 0.7, not that much. Point being, though, most people in this situation now would freak out, right? They'd panic, they'd get annoyed, they feel like they'd put that 0.7 of a kilo would be all body fat, and that they'd ruin their diet, and they'd have a volatile reaction where it will be, okay, now I need to diet again, now I need to pull my food right down for the next 3 or 4 days until that scale number drops back to the floor. And all that happens is you end up falling into this one extreme to another pattern where you become more and more fearful of these meals out over time because of what it might do to the scales. And then you have this massive extreme response where you start pulling your food down really low, and after a few days you're hungry, you're tired, you're stressed, and what are you more likely to do? Have another off-plan meal. And it's not the way that you want to respond to these things. So what I'm going to show you is exactly how you should be responding to these things. And don't get me wrong, if you know that they're coming up in advance, of course, you can pull your food down through the week, you can keep your food lower on the day, you can make sensible choices. And that's all absolutely fine, and you definitely should be doing that if you're trying to lose weight. But even when you do all that, the point is, you will likely still see a good amount of scale fluctuation because of the richer food that you're eating on that meal, because of the glycogen, the water, the salt, the food in your digestive system, all these things. Like, you will likely still see a scale fluctuation, and then it's how you handle it that matters. So what I'm going to be doing, and what I'm going to show you over however many days for that weight to get back down to normal, is how I'm managing it, right? So today, my food is back to normal. I'm not going to lie, I've not got much of an appetite this morning. I've just had a small bowl of yogurt this morning. I normally have like a big bowl of oats to start the day. Didn't really fancy it. And I've got now a just black coffee and a protein bar to snack on whilst I start doing a load of check-ins. But my food's going to stay the same. By the end of today, I will have had my normal 220 grams of protein, 250 grams of carbs, and 70 grams of fats. About 2,500 calories. By the end of today, I'm not going to drop my food. I'm not going to change anything. I am going to continue to eat at my normal current targets, and we'll see what the scale says in the morning. So I was going to go to the gym this morning, but I slept like absolute shit. Did not get much sleep at all. Had really bad stomachache through the night, unsurprisingly, and didn't fancy going in and doing RDLs this morning. So I didn't actually train this morning. I am going to be training tomorrow morning. You can see that. I'm going to show you my post-workout look with a bit of a pump on and all these carbs in me. So this morning, checking photos, comparisons that you'll have seen, they're just a bit flat. A little bit smoother as well, right? A little bit of water retention, but again, nothing crazy. Like all that food yesterday, and that's the difference in the physique. It's very, very little. There's no visible body fat that's been added there. And wait until tomorrow, it'll look even more back to normal. And that's the point, right? Don't freak out, don't panic, stick to your plan, crack on as normal, it'll sort itself out. That's the attitude that you want to get to having with these off-plan meals, right? And I really need to get started with check-ins, so I'm going to leave this here. And I'll catch you Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning, for an early gym session and a bit of a physique update, see what the scale's saying. So, speak to you there. PB by 1 rep. I'll take that. At least all that extra food's doing something. So, this morning, interestingly, my weight, having only gone up by 0.7 of a kilo the morning after the 9,000 calories, this morning has gone up again by 1.1 kilos. So an even bigger jump. Put it up to 69.2. So I'm 1.8 kilos up. And this is more in line with the response I was expecting to see, because of the extra glycogen, the extra water, all that kind of stuff. And yesterday was a normal day, food-wise. 200 grams of protein, 250 grams of carbs, 70 grams of fat. Much, much lower calories, yet my weight has gone up by 1.1 kilos. This is normally where people panic, freak out, feel like something's broken, and like I said before, they overcompensate by going to another extreme of like over-restriction, feeling like they can't eat anything, and have to basically starve themselves until it comes back down. But the thing is, I haven't done anything different yesterday. My food's been lower and my weight's gone up by even more. So physiologically and logically, I know that that's not body fat, right? So what I think has happened is that my body's had the extra day to digest a lot of the food that I had from the 9,000 calories. I'm holding on to a lot more glycogen. Because of that, I'm also holding on to a lot more water. The day that I did the food challenge, my water intake was pretty low compared to normal. Yesterday, my water intake was right back up again. So I'm probably holding on to a lot of that excess water. A lot of that salt from the foods that I had on those 9,000 calories has probably had a chance to be moved around the body and sit in muscles and various places, which means it's carrying a lot of water with it. So again, as frustrating as it might be, it's just water weight. Like, it'll come back down, it will balance itself back out. I don't need to panic or worry, because I know physiologically, A, I'm not eating enough calories to have gained 1.8 kilos in pure body fat. Just haven't. I'd have had to have eaten nearly 12, 13,000 plus calories in a day. And I know that it'll sort itself out. So today, even though my weight's gone up 1.1 kilos, my food today is actually 220 grams of protein, 350 grams of carbs, so it's an extra 100 grams of carbs for a training day, 70 grams of fat. I'm not going to change it. I'll just follow that, stick to the plan. I'll see how we're looking tomorrow. I haven't done photos yet. I'm going to do them at the end of this workout, so we'll have a look at those afterwards as well and see what we think. But I'm going to guess they're going to look all right. Probably going to look a bit fuller, maybe a little bit watery, maybe a bit smoother, but overall just fuller. So we will weigh in tomorrow morning to see when it starts coming down. But bottom line, don't panic, don't freak out, stick to the normal targets. It'll sort itself out. Okay, so Thursday morning, and we are back down to our start weight pre-10k or 9k. All right. So Monday morning before the food went in, 68.4. Tuesday morning after the food, 69.1, so 0.7 of a kilo increase. Wednesday morning, so this I actually got wrong. So yesterday when I was talking to you, I said it had gone up by 1.1 kilos that morning. It had been like a delayed spike. I was wrong. It had gone up by 0.1 of a kilo, not 1.1 kilos. I don't know how I got that so wrong. Maybe because it was an early start. It was 4 a.m. and I was doing RDLs, all right? Sue me. So it had only gone up maximum by 0.8 of a kilo by Wednesday morning. And then as of this morning, Thursday morning, having had a normal day of food yesterday of 2,900 calories, so it was about 220 grams of protein, 350 grams of carbs, 70 grams of fats, it is back down to 68.4 kilos. So I'm back down to my start weight after 3 days. And during those 3 days, I've kept my food the exact same. And look, don't get me wrong, like, it's not as much of a spike in weight as I would have expected to have seen. And I don't think it's as much of a spike as maybe other people might see if they're not in a similar routine where generally day to day their food's pretty consistent, they have a good salt intake, water intake, all that kind of stuff. So that definitely plays a factor. But I guess the point of this entire vlog, there's been a long, drawn out, painful at times way of saying you will struggle to gain a kilo of body fat overnight. You really, really will. When you see that scale spike up after you've had an off-plan meal and you freak out because you think it means that you've put that weight on purely from body fat in one night, chances are you've not. Because as I've just shown you, I actively tried to eat 10,700 calories in a day, 1 kilo of body fat above my maintenance in a day, and I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I couldn't physically eat that much food without throwing up. And then even when I ate close to it, 9,250 calories, which is about 0.7 of a kilo of body fat, essentially, above my maintenance that I've eaten in one day, and even when the scale went up the next day, I kept my food the same. I didn't panic. I just got back to my normal targets, my normal routine, training steps, everything like that. And within 3 days, my weight's back down to what it was before the food. Now, does that mean it's going to take 3 days for you if you were to do the same? Maybe not. Might take longer, might take less. But the point remains, when you see a scale fluctuation, if there is an obvious reason for that happening, i.e. you've had a meal out, don't panic. Don't freak out. It doesn't mean that you've ruined your diet. It doesn't mean that you've ruined your progress. And it doesn't mean that you've suddenly gained a load of body fat. All it means, more often than not, is you're holding a little bit more water, you've got a bit more salt, you've got a bit more glycogen, and you've got a bit more food in your digestive system. And in order to get that scale number back down, you don't need to treat an anomalous behavior, i.e. having an off-plan meal, with another anomalous behavior, i.e. pulling your food massively down or overly restricting again, or trying to do loads of cardio to burn it off. You don't need to do it. An extreme reaction will never fix an extreme reaction. All you need to do is go back to baseline. Have faith that the weight will come back down, that you've not gained it in body fat, and that everything is fine, and just go back to normal and give it a few days, and it will catch up with itself and it will sort itself out, as I've just proven, in quite an extreme way. Maybe next time we'll get the full 10k. And I guess to further the point, just to finish on, it's not only the scale weight I've been showing you, you've seen the photos every single morning. In shock horror, I still look the same. Mistake a change in the scale for a change in how you look. More often than not, that is not the case, and the two are not completely in sync. So, that's it. I'm going to stop this vlog now because it's 7:45 in the morning. I've got a very busy day ahead of me, and I've been filming this for 4 days. And quite frankly, I've had enough of it. I'm sure you've had enough of it. If you've got this far, well done. And we'll go from there. So, I guess all that's left to say is go and eat 10,000 calories and let me know if you do better than me. Probably. It was a terrible attempt. But with that being said, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, tell your nan. I don't know. Tell your nan's friends if she goes to bingo. Tell all the bingo friends. They might find it useful. And I'll catch you in the next one.